Some rooms in your home may look perfectly fine, yet you still find yourself wiping, vacuuming, straightening, and checking them as if something is unfinished. That habit can feel especially tiring after 40, when you may be more protective of your time and energy, and when your home should support you instead of constantly asking for more. These things to stop cleaning so often after 40 are not about lowering basic hygiene. They are about noticing where an old standard, a rigid schedule, or a quiet sense of guilt has turned harmless spaces into repeat work. Today, we are looking at 10 places where cleaning less can make your home calmer and your days lighter. There is an important difference between keeping a home healthy and keeping every part of it in a permanent state of readiness. Healthy cleaning responds to real use. A spill happens, so you wipe it. The bathroom needs attention, so you clean it. Crumbs collect where people eat, so you deal with them. High-touch surfaces, visible dirt food, contamination illness, moisture mold, pests and odors deserve practical attention. But repeat cleaning often follows a different pattern. You clean because it is Tuesday. You dust because someone might notice. You wash something again because you cannot remember whether it is fresh enough. You polish a surface that no one has touched. You move through the house correcting tiny things that are not actually creating a problem. The work may look responsible from the outside. Inside, it can feel like your home never gives you a clear stopping point. This is not permission to ignore what genuinely needs care. It is permission to stop treating every room, object, and surface as equally urgent. Your energy is part of the household too. It deserves to be managed with the same care you give everything else. A guest room, formal dining room, spare bedroom, or quiet sitting area can become part of your cleaning route even when no one has entered it for days. You open the door, check the surfaces, smooth the bedding dust, the furniture, and vacuum the floor, because that room is included in your idea of a fully cleaned house. But an unused room does not create the same mess as a kitchen, bathroom, or living area. If the door has stayed closed and there are no signs of dust buildup, pets, moisture, odors, or actual use, the room may only need a quick visual check. It does not automatically need a full reset. Try separating rooms into two categories: active spaces and resting spaces. Active spaces are being used and may need regular attention. Resting spaces are currently quiet. They can wait until someone uses them, until you see a real need, or until a lighter seasonal reset makes sense. This simple distinction can remove an entire room from today's workload. A room does not become neglected just because you did not clean it this week. Sometimes it is simply still clean. A crowded decorative shelf can create work that feels unavoidable. Each object collects dust. Each item has to be lifted, wiped, moved, and placed back. The shelf itself has to be cleaned around different shapes: frames, bowls, books, candles, and small keepsakes. The problem may not be that you are failing to dust often enough. The problem may be that the shelf requires too much maintenance. Before adding more cleaning time, look at the number of objects. Which pieces do you genuinely enjoy seeing? Which ones are there because you have always kept them? Which items have become part of a display you no longer even notice? Removing a few objects can make the shelf easier to clean and calmer to look at. It also reduces the feeling that every visible item is another responsibility. You do not have to create an empty, perfect shelf. You are simply allowed to choose a display that asks less from you. When one object is meaningful, it can stand on its own. It does not need 6 other objects beside it to prove the space is cared for. It is easy to notice crumbs near the kitchen table and turn that into a decision to vacuum the entire ground floor. One small area looks untidy, and suddenly the hallway, living room, dining room, and every corner become part of the job. This is how a 5-minute task can quietly become a much longer one. Instead of cleaning by floor, try cleaning by evidence. Where is the actual dirt? Where has there been traffic? Where did something spill? Which part will make the biggest difference if you handle it now? You may find that the area around the table needs attention while the hallway is fine. The entry may need a quick sweep while the living room does not. A small vacuum broom or dustpan may be enough for a local problem. Spot cleaning is not incomplete cleaning. It is targeted cleaning. The whole floor does not need to be involved every time one area shows signs of use. Your home can be maintained in sections based on what is actually happening, rather than according to an all-or-nothing rule. Clean windows can make a room feel brighter, but window cleaning can also become a demanding task when it is tied to a strict calendar. Maybe you were taught to clean all the windows every month. Maybe you feel behind when the date arrives. Maybe you start noticing every mark because you believe the schedule says it is time. But windows do not all get dirty at the same rate. A kitchen window near cooking activity may need attention sooner. A glass door touched by children or pets may show marks quickly. A high window in a quiet room may stay acceptable for much longer. Instead of cleaning every window because the calendar says, so check them in natural light. Notice what is actually visible from where you sit or stand. Clean the areas that affect the room and leave the rest until there is a real reason. You can also separate quick touch-ups from full window cleaning. A visible fingerprint does not require washing every pane in the house. Schedules can be helpful, but they should support you. They should not create work that the home is not asking for. Baseboards have a way of appearing on cleaning lists as if they are always overdue. Once you think about them, you may start seeing every small mark and line of dust. Then you are bending, kneeling, moving furniture, and wiping the edges of rooms that looked perfectly acceptable before you went searching for a problem. Some baseboards genuinely need attention, especially near entrances, kitchens, bathrooms, pets, or areas with visible buildup, but many do not need frequent cleaning. Ask yourself whether the dust is noticeable during normal life or only when you kneel down and inspect it closely. That question matters. A calm home does not require you to examine every surface from the most critical angle possible. It needs to function, feel comfortable, and support the people living in it. You can clean visible marks when you see them. You can include baseboards in an occasional deeper reset. You do not need to keep them on a constant rotation just because a checklist says a well-managed home should. Not every hidden line of dust is a current responsibility. Fresh guest bedding is useful when someone is coming to stay, but bedding that has remained clean, protected, dry, and unused does not need to be stripped and washed repeatedly just to feel prepared. Sometimes the guest room becomes a place where you perform readiness. You smooth the bed, wash the sheets again, replace towels and refresh pillows, even though no one has slept there. The room is kept waiting for a guest who has not arrived, while your own time and energy are being used in the present. A simpler approach is to protect clean bedding and refresh it close to an actual visit. Keep the room reasonably dust-free. Use a washable cover if that helps. Air the room before guests arrive. Check the bedding and wash it when there is a genuine reason, such as visible dust, pet contact, moisture odor, or actual use. Preparation should have a purpose and a date. You do not need to maintain every guest space as if someone might arrive without notice. Your home is allowed to serve the people who live there first. A shirt worn briefly may end up in the laundry because it feels easier than deciding where it belongs. A sweater may be washed again because you are not sure whether it is clean. Clothes left on a chair can become part of the next load simply because they are no longer in the closet. This creates more washing, more drying, more folding, and more decisions. The answer is not to ignore hygiene or garment care instructions. It is to create a clear place for clothes that are not freshly washed but are still wearable. That might be one hook, one shelf, one section of a drawer, or one small basket. The important part is that the category has a limit. It should not become a second wardrobe or a growing pile of delayed decisions. Before washing, pause and ask a few practical questions. Is there a visible mark? Is there an odor? Was it worn close to the body for a long time? Does the care label or the way it was used suggest that it should be washed now? If not, airing it or returning it to a designated place may be enough for your household. Every unnecessary wash is another cycle to run and another load to dry, fold, and put away. Reducing even a few repeat loads can make the laundry system feel lighter. Kitchen and bathroom cabinets can become part of deep cleaning routines even when there is no spill stickiness, odor, pest activity, moisture, or clutter inside. You remove everything, wipe every shelf, wait for it to dry, and put everything back. The cabinet looks nearly the same when you finish, but you have spent time handling every item twice. There are moments when cabinet cleaning is useful. A product leaks, crumbs collect, something expires, a shelf liner needs replacing. You find moisture mold insects or an odor. You are reorganizing a category that no longer works. But if the cabinet is dry, orderly, and visibly clean, it may not need to be emptied just because the month or season has changed. Open the door, look, check the corners, notice whether there is an actual problem. A visual inspection can be enough. This is another place where cleaning by evidence is more helpful than cleaning by routine. You are not avoiding the task, you are deciding whether the task exists. That small shift can prevent hours of maintenance that produces very little benefit. Some objects ask to be cleaned more often than they are enjoyed. They collect dust, show fingerprints, block access to a surface, or have to be moved every time you wipe underneath them. You may keep cleaning them because removing them feels like giving up on the room, wasting money, or admitting that your taste has changed. But you are allowed to notice when an object has become work. You can store it for a season, move it to a less demanding location, donate it, or let it go. The choice does not have to be dramatic. It can simply be practical. A decorative object should add something to your home beauty memory, warmth, or meaning. If it mostly adds dusting, rearranging, and visual noise, it may no longer be serving the life you have now. This can become especially clear after 40, when you may begin questioning systems you have maintained for years without asking whether they still fit. The easiest thing to clean is sometimes the thing you no longer need to keep on display. This may be the most exhausting form of cleaning because the finish line is not visible. You are not responding to dirt. You are responding to a picture in your mind of how a responsible woman's home should look. The counters should always be clear. The floors should never show use. The bathroom should look ready for visitors. The laundry should be fully caught up. Every room should feel finished at the same time. But real homes are used. A towel may be drying. A book may be on the table. Shoes may be near the door. A breakfast bowl may wait while you finish your tea. These signs do not automatically mean the home is out of control. An imaginary standard may come from old expectations, comparison, family habits, social media, or the fear that someone will judge what you did not complete. The standard keeps moving because it was never based on what your household actually needs. Try replacing it with a functional standard. Is the space safe? Is it reasonably clean? Can people find what they need? Can you use the room comfortably? Is there a clear next step for anything unfinished? If the answer is yes, the room may be done for today. You do not need to keep cleaning until nothing reveals that people live there. Cleaning less often does not mean caring less. It means using your attention where it creates a real benefit. It means allowing quiet rooms to stay quiet, cleaning one section instead of an entire floor, washing what is used instead of what is merely waiting, and removing objects that create more maintenance than meaning. Most importantly, it means giving your home a stopping point. The house may still contain dust you could find if you searched for it. A window may have one mark. A baseboard may not be perfect. A shelf may wait until next week. None of that cancels the care you have already given. A calmer home is not a home where one woman notices and corrects everything before anyone else can see it. It is a home where necessary work is handled, unnecessary work is questioned, and your energy is not treated as an unlimited household supply. The next time you feel pulled toward another cleaning task, pause and ask, is this needed now, or is this simply something I have trained myself to repeat? That one question can return minutes to your day, reduce the number of decisions you carry, and help your home ask less from you. And if cleaning has started to feel like an all-day responsibility, watch. Stop cleaning all day. 7. Calm home habits. Women over 40 need next. It will help you create clearer stopping points and gentler systems so your home can feel cared for without taking all of your energy.